The UK could be about to improve its financial offer to the European Union, according to the Times newspaper. Theresa May's government is likely to add another €20 billion to what it had already agreed.
Speaking to the BBC's Andrew Marshall, Chancellor Philip Hammond said Britain was close to reaching a breakthrough with Brussels.
It's not about demands, it's about what is properly due from the UK to the European Union under international law in accordance with the European treaties. And we've always been clear that it won't be easy to work out that number, but whatever is due, we will pay. We're a nation that honours our debts.
Dean Turner is an economist at UBS Wealth Management. He joins us now. So we'll spend the next 10 days debating between 20 billion and 60 billion and everything in between. Pragmatism or game theory for you, this potential upping of the offer on the Sundays?
I think it's pragmatism, isn't it? There has to be more give and take on both sides. One could argue that the UK is in a slightly weaker position here. Therefore, it was always inevitable that there would be some acknowledgement of the UK's past liabilities. Now, my sense is that we should get close enough to an agreement so that by the December European Council meeting, talks can move to phase 2, and clearly this is a step in the right direction if true. Yeah,
we'll see if that's where we get to. Now, of course, Wednesday we see the budget in the UK. You've done a lot of work on UK productivity and what you think is going to happen there. The OBR, a lot of reporting suggesting that the OBR could decide to reduce their estimates for UK productivity. That brings down their growth estimates, doesn't it? Gives a bit of a headache to the Chancellor. So, I mean, what explains the weak productivity for you, and how do we turn it around in the UK?
Well, I think the weak productivity, it's due to a number of factors. I mean, one of the things we can't escape is that the compositional effects of the economy are themselves weighing on productivity. So this is something that's a longer-term trend.
Reliance on financial services, for example.
Those kind of things, and you know, less reliance on traditional industries which tend to have a higher rates of productivity. So going forward, I think in my mind it's quite sensible that the OBR does revise the forecast lower. Clearly, that has an impact on the long-term growth rate. But I wouldn't be too pessimistic on the outlook for productivity growth. There's clearly a number of factors that can be reversed. I think one of the things we have to think about for the UK, perhaps in a post-Brexit world, is the fact that perhaps the UK could use this as an opportunity to rebalance its economy away from perhaps some of the less productive industries.
See what detail we get on the industrial strategy, yeah.
We will indeed. Build more houses seem to be the theme on Sunday. What does it do for the gilt market? This is the gilt market. The return so far this year, 2.3%. But there's a piece out there that, of course, this will come down to how much gilt issuance there is and how much the deficit, in other words, the growth and deficit outlook that we get from Hammond.
Exactly, and notwithstanding the point on productivity of the OBR.
Yes.
But I think one of the other things that's possibly rumoured is going to happen is that there's going to be changes to the assumption on employment, so that could have an offsetting effect. So the Chancellor may not be in as bad a position as what we think. That said, I don't sense at this point that we're on the verge of a significant change to the current stance. Yes, the Chancellor will look towards some easing in order to boost home building and other programmes which are sensitive to voters right now, because clearly the election results sent quite a clear message to the government. That said, I don't think that we're currently on the verge of a dramatic shift. I suspect that we're not going to see much in the way of change in terms of overall targets.
From an economist perspective, Dean, briefly, when is too late for a transition arrangement? When does it need to come?
I think it's got to come by the first quarter of next year. Otherwise, businesses will have to start exercising contingency plans, which will have a negative impact on the economy.